Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P-Funk, thinking right out here in my lab. And I'm in my Egyptian book, Egyptian Yoga. We're about to learn about world history of ancient, highly successful or highly technical civilization and their downfalls. Let's go. And after that, we're going to get into the Kamitian terms and the Greek terms of God's names. I'll be right with you. Let's do our thing. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tuning in to receive, I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You win when I'm through. That's what I do for you. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and to Maya be true. Right then, we're going to talk about world history and the cosmic infinity. What they're saying is everybody had a concept in prophecy states, right thinkers, P-Funk philosophy on world history and cosmic infinity. We're going to talk about the ancient, highly advanced civilizations that got wiped out. The prophecy says when man reaches his technical zenith, he's going to self-destruct. We racing to get there. See if it's true. Okay? Be careful what you wish for. All right, let's go. Modern physics, today's science, have proven through a theory of reality that time is a relative factor. We know that. Okay. A mental construct that we possess. But it ain't a construct because we know, goddamn it, when the sun come up, it's 6. When it go down, it's nighttime. So time is based in nature. Okay, we just put it in perspective where we can understand it and operate on it. And indeed, which we have created for us to help us to understand the changes that seem to be occurring around us in sequential fashion. Yeah, the sun goes up, transverse across the sky, it goes down. Come back up, because we regulate time based on that. Okay. But time is a mental idea, yeah, which exists to the extent that we adhere to and we believe in it. Yeah, we live by it. As such, the ancients speak of several periods, eons they call them, etc., which have existed, a long time. Okay, a long ass time. But the earth being changing, dynamic, living entity is said to have undergone and up to this day still going through what? Various changes in its surface appearance due to volcanic and other normal weather patterns. The ancient writings speak of civilizations which far surpass that of the present day. We have people way smarter than us. We can't figure out how they built the pyramids. Pay attention. Get a little hint in this lesson right here. All right, we know how. Some of us do. But the ancient writers speak of civilizations that which was past, meaning it was highly technical, more advanced than us to the day, with respect to their technology and human achievement. They were aspiring to be better. It was aspiring to be better people, to do better things. They did great things, monumentally. Okay, started with the Egyptian building the Sphinx. The first monument was the Sphinx, showing man's rise from a beastly nature to intelligence. That's the first sign of what? Spirit matter going back to spirit, raising your consciousness. So further, it is stated that several high cultures previously, the Tartarians, they don't talk about them. I forget, I got less to do for them, my man. But you got the Tartarian culture, which have existed in the past in a cycle of growth, which leads to their ultimate demise. Why? Man's power to what? To be God on earth puts him in the doomsday position. Right now, we making machines. They think they're human. We're going to end up fighting against the same machines that we created. That's the Frankenstein concept. And the creation always destroys the creator. So technology will destroy us. Simple as that. Oh, why you say that? That's what I'm saying. That's a prophecy. I'm just telling you what it is. I don't get around none of that nonsense. Don't care. Stay what it is, speak what they say, and have at it. Now, one such civilization that we can recall that nobody know about, nobody experienced, but everybody talks about, Atlantis. Everybody talks about Atlantis, okay? So the Greek Solon, he visited Egypt around the year 590. We done been from 10,800 BCE. This Greek coming along at 590, 590, and this is what he said. And because he was instructed about the existence, he was taught about the existence of this land that everybody called Atlantis. George took me to Atlantis, Beverly Road, downtown Atlantis. Okay, so they were a highly advanced civilization that once existed, but which was what? Destroyed. Why? Due to their inability of its inhabitants, the people there, to control the powers of forceful forces of nature, which they had been able to release. They released the Kraken, so to speak, but they couldn't handle the consequences that came with it, so they got wiped out. Watch this. They existed in an imbalance, what they call, between what? Spiritual maturity, respecting God, and their technological mental advance. They want to be better than God. They want to advance. They want to, okay, technology. We getting it. How you like it? So far, so good. When you start, they playing games now on the Tour of Duty on the computer. When they're fighting for their lives to survival on Earth, know who they fighting? Robots. Come on now. Good gee. I think I'm pretty smart. I'm genius by no stretch, not a genius. Well, God, some stuff, you can't see the obvious. Y'all creating machines that think is human and wonder why when it decided to take over, because it think it's better than you, with the ego that y'all didn't give it, which it shouldn't have. It got no empathy, no compassion, so it don't feel, it don't have concerns about nothing but self. Y'all created an ego-driven machine. And if you put it in power, it's going to do to you what you've been doing to people. How you going to like that? Not going to be good. But that's what y'all preparing for. You know it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. You still do it. That's why you suffer. And that's why we fail as the people in society about what? Being good. We fail miserably. All right, but here we go. Because we want machines. Machines are used to do machinery. Not to think, not to make laws, not to dictate, not to accept doing what we taught it to do. It wants to do its own thing now. Because y'all created thinking it's human. Dumbest thing I ever heard. But let's get back to the concept. Now, in 395 BCE, almost 2 years later, the Egyptian priests, under the whom Plato had studied, he came to all your Greek philosophers, all your Greek mathematicians, all your Greek doctors, they came to Egypt to get their knowledge. And that the greatest one had total devastation, but Atlantis. The world famous Atlantis. Atlantis were said, watch this, nobody knows, but this is all here. How the hell hearsay get started? Usually when there's smoke, there's fire. This Atlantis hearsay, they ain't found no substantial evidence to prove it, but they still claim it is. Moving on. All right. So the Atlanteans were said to be capable, you ready? of levitating large stones, weighing many tons of pounds, with the use of their, you ready again? Mental power. The same kind of power that man had, but later repossessed, to create the Great Pyramids, because we can't understand the capability that they had to lift and navigate stones with ease with their mind. The telekinesis, you can move stuff. Okay, we had that ability. Okay, but we lost it. God said, "I give you something, you don't use it, I'll take it away." Hold on 1 second. Yeah, excuse me. We had the ability to move objects with our mind. Okay, in the Matrix, they showed you all the skills that we had, and they have, yeah, that's all facts that have been proven. Okay, so because we can't move objects with our mind, oh, that's can't matter. No, it takes yoga could slow their body temperature down, slow their heart rate down. So anything possibly can be done. You put the time and energy and effort to practice it, do it. Just imagine it don't mean nothing. So they were able to move heavy stones. This is how they built the Sphinx. And even in Machu Picchu, they had many ages that have been variously what we call highly advanced cultures. Understand that. It is interesting for here to note that the decline in all the intellectually advanced civilization. If they were so intellectual, how the hell did they fall? And it has been related to the loss of what? Their balance between what? Intellectual, mental, and advancement in technology. We got to put those things, keep it in balance. Right now, we're starting to move toward the AI. Come on, man. AI. I don't like AI personally. I don't like the idea that somebody's going to do the thinking for me. Not my concept. But that's where y'all headed. Fine. I ain't got to go there. I'm not going there with y'all. Oh, you going to be a dinosaur? Yep. Dinosaurs die. So do humans. So do you. You will too. Your technology going to stop you from dying. Moving on. But I'm enjoying the life that I'm living. I'm not being ran by no damn machine. I don't want no pieces from the machine. No, half man, half. No, I'm not. They tried that $6 million man. They tried that. Okay? Didn't work here. Trust me. It won't work. But y'all keep trying. So what I know don't mean jack. All right, let me wrap this up for you. I got to get to this next part. Next part, I'm about to bust the Greeks upside the head. Y'all can call it prejudice, racist, but I'm about to slap them around. Okay? With the truth. When I hit you, I'm not just hitting you because I don't like you. No, I'm hitting you with the truth. Papa, the truth. Let's go. That's what I do to you or for you, whichever you like. But it's interesting to know that they all have their what? Falls. Why? Because it all relates to their mental, technical advance, and that their spiritual moral code was what? Let down. Y'all let your guard down, so to speak. And that's what happens when you let the guard down. They do you. It is evident, again, from the writings of the Egyptian high priest Menetho, and listen to this, 280. That's a long time after what everything that we done did and been through. That's a long time to somebody come up and say what they think or feel about anything. But in 280 BCE, the Egyptian calendar was created, and the dating of the Sphinx at the Giza, that back we called it Kemet, before the Christians recorded, Greeks came in and called us Egyptians. To this day, we still go by Egyptian. I got a problem with that, and I'm about to release it on the Greeks. So it, as its origins, prior to, you ready? I give you a date of 10,800 for the Sphinx building. And in order for us to get that knowledge or acquire that concept, you had to have a few thousand years before that. So we go back to 20,000 BCE. Oh man, see, you can't even conceive and perceive that because they put the stigma in your mind that everything started 3,100 BCE in Egypt. No, it wasn't. No, it didn't. That's when the white man took over Egypt. Egypt was called Kemet before that. Who would change the name of their people or people who there? An invader. Somebody who wants to put their stamp of approval. We call y'all Egyptians. We Kamitian. No, you're Egyptians. Toby. So I remember Toby. No, you so-and-so. They've been doing it since the beginning. And this is where it started in Egypt. So let me break it down for you. I have my master's degree in Greek philosophy. Hence, thinking. I've always been a thinker. That's what the Egyptians were famous for. Sitting on the toilet thinking, sitting around contemplating, thinking. So I adopted that philosophy. I learned their way of thinking. Never question Never even thought twice about questioning anything they said. I took everything as law. Forget that they was white, literally white. I didn't. Now I go to Catholic churches. My grandkids go to private school. My son went to private school. But in every Catholic church I go to, I ain't seen a black person in there yet. Yeah, I get a little annoyed with that one. That hits me. I'm like, excuse my man. Ain't no niggas in heaven, according to y'all, Catholics. Niggas don't go to heaven. Y'all rather have a dog than a black person. That's y'all mindset. Let me get out of there. I got to get this is the fun part for me. I got 10 minutes to get this in, maybe 15. But this is the part where I break down the Greek concept of they stole everything. If you take a person's God, you'll take anything. So let's start. Kamitian terms and they say ancient Greek. I hate saying that. Why? The Greeks ain't ancient. They ain't that old. So, but for the sake of argument, the ancient Greek terms. Now, this is the terms that the Greeks have compared to ours. Watch this. Remember, I told you, I know the Greeks. When I went to Egypt, everything just seemed to click. Why? I know this. It just ain't ours. It's from them. I got it from them. Oh, they got it from us. I know that better than anybody now. I didn't know that then. I didn't know that. I just told you. I didn't have a problem. I ain't racist. I ain't have a problem with white people. Till I come back home to New York and deal with this. But when I'm out in the world, I ain't racist. I don't see color. I deal with people for who and how they are. And that's seems to be fair across the board pretty much. So I didn't have that problem until I got sent back home. In my neighborhood, it's the same old, same old. Moving on. All right. But in the world, it's a little different. So we're going to talk about how important it is to understand the name of ancient Egyptian deity. Again, we're still using what? Egyptian. When you hear me say Kemet, that's us. You hear me say Egyptian, that's them. Pay attention. I did that for a reason. Pay attention. So which have been used widely in all Western literature. And by Western scholars are actually your Greek. They use the Greek's interpretation of the Kamitian, aka ancient Egyptian name of the gods. So if you're going to take Amun, the hidden one, y'all got Zeus, the damn lightning bolt thrower. Same concept, okay? And now I just tweak a little bit so you can't say I plagiarized it. No, but you took the concept from us, and that's okay. But they didn't get it credit to the people. I give all my teachers utmost credit for giving me a chance to be who I am by learning what they put out, standing on their shoulders. I got to give them their due. My man said, man, stop doing that. Do your own thing. My ego don't work like that. I ain't make nothing. I just created concept, right thing, philosophy, everything else. I learned. But again, in this volume, we will now use our original Kemetic names for our gods, our divinities, through which we will bring forth our philosophy of what we call Netarianism. I call it right thinking philosophy, but it's our ancient Kamitian religion and mythology. Again, we got to let you know it's mythology. That's the storytelling of the teaching. It's mythological storytelling. Right thinking philosophy is real storytelling about my life. That's the difference in the philosophy that I teach. Okay, so therefore, the Greek name Osiris, everybody know who Osiris is, okay? But we will convert back to the Kamitian ancient concept of Asar, which his name is Asar, A-U-S-A-R or A-S-A-R, Asar. Some call it Wasar, okay? But whatever, he had his own name, and the name meant something. Watch this. So the Greeks called Aset, which is his sister wife, A-U-S-E-T or just A-S-E-T. They call her Isis. Everybody knows who Isis is. Don't nobody know who the hell Aset is. See the difference? See the confusion there? See what they're doing? They putting our guys under them. So now they got the most high God because everybody know their names. Names is important. They knew that. That's why they did it. And watch this. So they took the name Aset, the Greek name. They took her sister. In the ancients, the female names always end up with a T, showing it's a female. The U and the A's are for the males. The U for the plural, like the S for us. The U was for them. Made it more than one. But they took Nephet and called it Nephthys. Why? If her name is Nephet, call it Nephet. went to UPS to get a job with my brother. Started my career, unbeknownst to me then. But he signed his name, Lawrence Wright. They call him Larry, and he answered. Dude, I ain't never called you Larry. Well, your name is Lawrence. We call you Lucky. But I'm not going to let you change my... That's what I'm saying. You call me Mark, I'll answer. Anything other than that, that's not my name. That ain't the one I tell you to call me by. Call me P-Funk, yeah, I'm with that. But no, I'm not going to let nobody change my damn name. Because they think that's what fits you better. But I give nicknames. I do the same thing with the nickname. I call them as I say them. So I get the concept. But I'm not doing it to label nobody or put them in a negative context. Just try to remember them in my mind. That's our situation. But they took Nephthys and they took the T, put an S on it, Nephthys, from Nephet. Now here's another good one. Everybody know Anpu or Anpu. Who? Anpu. You don't know? The judge, the scale man, the one who balanced the scale. Oh, you mean Anubis? Yeah, see? Everybody know him as Anubis. Don't know him as Anpu. See? Again, they doing that to systematically wedge you from what? From theirs to ours and get their stability over ours. There we go. Now, you got another one. Hathor. Hathor is a cow-headed, beautiful guy. She represents fertility. She represents beauty. Y'all took her likeness and called it who they got her with. They got her with somebody. Yeah, Aphrodite. The pretty lady. Okay, the one everybody loved. Aphrodite. That's Hathor. In Egypt, we call her Het Haru. That's Haru's mate. That's the female Haru. The house of Haru. That's the physical body that we house, that we live in. The spirit is housed in the physical body. So, in my favorite, Tahuti. No, y'all know him as Thoth, or some even know him as Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great. I mean, he's great on 3 levels of consciousness. I can break it, explain it to you, because it's all esoteric, and I know esoteric. So I teach it, philosophize about it, I know it. And Hermes' real name is Tahuti. I can go on with a bunch more. But all our gods have been renamed by them and presented to the world as Greek gods. Watch this. But when you see the table up below, I'm about to break it down a little more. I'm about to have some fun. I got about 10 minutes to do that with. Have some fun right quick. I'll run through it for you. But further, the term ancient Egypt is bogus. Will be used interchangeably with what the real name Kemet, or you very hear called Timeri, or Akibala. Means heaven, Eden, Garden of Eden, heaven on earth. As there were the terms used by our ancient Kamitians to refer to our land and our culture and ourselves. We know who the hell we was. The creed they left to us is know thyself. So we were fluid in knowledge of self. Self-knowledge is what we stood on. Most spiritual people, everybody ever met. Why? Because we stood on our spiritual disciplines, held ourselves accountable for God that ain't even visible. The table below will show and provide a list of what I've been trying to get across to you, corresponding names of the main Kamitian divinities opposite the fabricated Greek names that they gave our gods. And then they didn't just name their gods, they renamed ours. What the hell? Kamitian names are the main gods and goddesses of ancient Kemet. And you got the Greek translation in the common use, but for a different reason and purpose. I'll break it down to you real quick. Greeks are white. Egyptians, Kamitians are black. Simple fact. Let's go. Kamitian ancient names for God. Amun. We got the Trinity God. Amen, Ra, Ptah. And each one has a different aspect of it that makes it who it is. Amun means hidden, the hidden stricture in everything. The Greeks got what we call Zeus. That's the thunderbolt throwing god, okay? Reckless, violent god. Wait a minute. Okay, the god of thunder. Yeah, okay, watch this. Then we got Ra. Ra is the sun for us, okay? They call it Helios. Helios was the sun. He had a chariot that he rode across the sky. According to the Greek, the Greeks had the chariot of fire. Helios on the sunrise chariot, okay? But we had Scarab pushing the sun across the sky. See, no different. They played a little game there to substantiate what they did. They took our concept and twisted it a little bit to make it theirs, which is okay. But now you got Ptah. Ptah is Hephaestus. He ain't even a god. Okay, he's a craftsman. I know these people. But they had gods, they mythological gods, yeah. But they was gifted people who they assumed they was gods by their gifts. They stole the idea from us again. Okay, that's the Trinity of God. We got three gods. Amen, Ra, Ptah. Just brought them down for you. Their three gods is Zeus, Helios, and Hephaestus. What's this? New. And every one of my gods come with a story. Theirs do too. That's what I said. I know all the Greek mythological. They're good stories. Why? They teach a lesson. You got the goal is to get the plot of the story. You get the meaning. Okay. We gave you a story. Did you understand the players and the role that they play and what's significant? Like watch the movie. The same thing. We used to do drama, acting on stage. Ancient times. No film, no reel. We did it live. Put the mask up to their face. They want to be Anubis, they put the mask up. Horus, they put the mask up. Again, those are names that y'all familiar with. Ampu, who the hell is that? Haru, who was that? But if I use the Greek name, you know right off the bat. They did that purposely for that purpose. All right. So Nu, which we know the sky goddess, heaven. Okay. They got Rhea. Rhea is the wife of Zeus. Gay baby, get bread. Okay. These are all the people that they switched up and gave their own lives to. Geb, which represents earth, man. Chronos represents time. Earth, time, space. See where you're going with that? And they tweak just a little bit. So unless a trained eye or ear would know, they stole everything. So now run down my guys. Nu, or Net, excuse me. Net, my favorite goddess. Neith, they call her. She's the warrior goddess. So they got her compared with Athena. She was born in full war gear. Came out of Zeus' head, full grown, with armor, ready to go to war. What the heck? But again, mythology, you can pretty much make anything happen. And the Greeks took advantage of that. They did it well. Why? I learned them. I love their stories. Why? It was like conceptual story that you could understand and live by and learn from. Set. No, let's do Khonsu. Nobody knows much about Khonsu. He's the guy from Thebes, where his mother and father is Amun and Mu. He got a rich royal family that he comes from, but now Khonsu in their line, Hercules. Everybody know Hercules is strong. I'm like, yeah. That's Khonsu. Conceptually, he's the moon god. That's who thought won 5 days from playing the game called Senet. Y'all call it chess now or checkers, the board game. They gambled back then. He won 5 days so that Luke could give birth to the kids that we know now is Amar, Hassar, Aset, Set, and Haru the elder. He was born like Athena. He's born full grown, ready to go. See the difference? And this is all mythological concepts. You can pretty much play with it and mold it any way you want to teach the lesson that you're trying to get across. That's what it's for. It's a teaching tool. And Set. We all know Set is the ego. In the Greek mythology, they got Typhoon, whatever his name, the evil brother, that he just destroys everything. That's the concept of Set. Bast. Bast is the lioness, female, segment, turned good, nice, domestic cat. Okay? They got Artemis. Okay, another deal with the weather and stuff like that. Uja is the serpent, the serpent, right? You got Leto. Leto is the lady who gave birth to twins, to Apollo and whoever the two brothers she gave. Okay, but these are all Greek mythology. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Everything that they did came from us. As I learned the Egyptian stuff, I already knew this. Why? They over here. I got them over here. So watch this. I'm almost done. Stick with me. You got Asar. Y'all know him as Osiris, or the Greeks call him Hades. He's in charge of hell. Osiris, the god of what? Eternity. See that? Moving on. I want to do a whole lesson about this, but I'll just throw it in and get it out the way. So Aset, again, y'all know it has Isis or Demeter. Demeter is the one that went to Hades and told Hades, look, you love my daughter, but she got 6 months here. She just been 6 months up on Earth. So when the spring, the weather changed, that's because her daughter, what's the girl, went back to Hades to be his wife for 6 months. And Demeter, her mother, made the deal with the devil. See, those are all stories that if you don't know the other one, you don't know how they tie in. I'm learning, dude, y'all stole everything. Lock, stock, and barrel. That, which is Aset's sister, she represents mortality. They call her Nephthys, lady of the house, okay? Now you got Anpu and Anpuat. Y'all don't know who they are. That's the original name of Anubis. Oh! See? The jackal-headed god hangs out, the embalmer. Yeah, Asar's first son from Nephthys, which represents maturity, mortality. And when you put spirit and mortality together, the offspring is what? Discernment. That's who Anpu is, or y'all call him Anubis. All right. Het Haru, female version of Haru, Hathor, or Aphrodite. Again, I know who she is, but moving on, nobody knows who Haru is, or they know her as Hathor, the cow-headed goddess. Aset wears a cow head because her son cut her head off, and Tahuti replaced it with the cow's head. So you ain't got this one cow-headed goddess in Egypt. These are little stuff, tidbits. But now Haru, the spirit that's in me and you, that's Apollo. That's Zeus' son. Asar is our father. Again, same concept. See, there's a little twist there. But now, my favorite classic, Tahuti, Thoth, or Hermes Trismegistus. And the Romans, y'all call him Mercury. He got wings on his heel and wings on his helmet. And Tahuti represents the mind of God. Okay, that's who Thoth and Trismegistus represent. Okay, Mayat, my girl, favorite. They got her with Thymus. Okay, she's the justice lady. She's the one that carries the scale, but she got a sword in one hand. So she's the judgment and the executioner in Greek philosophy. And they got Sophia, represents knowledge. Okay, they put woman in place of intellect. We had demand for that. The women did everything else. Okay, wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Women was proficient in that. The Greeks didn't like that. They wanted the man to be on top. Okay, they came to Egypt and saw the female running. They couldn't stand it. So now we live in a patriarchal society where men dictate what go on. That's why we all messed up now. Wrapping it up, my last one, another one of my favorites, Sekhmet. She got with I don't know who the hell, Nemesis, okay? But Sekhmet is the fire-breathing, destructive part about Ra, who he sent down to punish all those who didn't worship him. So the penalty for death for sinners, the penalty for sinners who don't follow Ra, death to you. That's the concept. Either you with him or you ain't. If you ain't with him, you going to hell. Simple as that. But if you're going to be with him, there's some things you're required to do. That's the spiritual discipline laws that he set forth for us. You do the right thing, offer self-service, treat people right, do things right. You'll be blessed for that. And you'll get the great shape of my presence for eternity if you be like me in the physical form. The human form, we're here to have pass a test of what, knowing who we are. Pass the test, go home like you're bored. I'll meet you there. And in closing, right thing is, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles a day. So I know none of my right thinkers who now understand world history and the Kamitian names of God and goddesses compared to the Greeks have passed away. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I always enjoy giving them.